What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Will Johnson, and this is the Culture Wars. And what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's up? What's up? Now, we have a new pope. Well, I don't. If you're Catholic, you have a new pope. Are you happy about it? Are you excited about it? We talked about this yesterday, and I think it was somebody's watching me mention this. Split screen it for me, Shannon. Talking about orange smoke will be coming out. Did you do this, somebody? Somebody's watching me. Did you do this? Did you do this? I think you might have done this. Right? Someone did it. Someone, great minds think alike. Well, today they have their new pope. And guess what? The first American pope. The first American pope.
Yes, orange smoke is coming out of the Sistine Chapel. We have a new pope, finally. And it looks like that's right. I can't believe it. Donald J. Trump is the world's first American pope. And the most handsome. Look at that big, beautiful pope. Oh my God, what a handsome man.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. It's so good. And of course, you know, President Trump was trolling them. And I don't know who created this, but it's so good. Now, in this video, it says the first American pope. And I saw this yesterday. And today they actually have the first American pope in history, in world history, the first pope that is American. I don't know what that means, but it's not President Trump. And these radical liberals, they believe anything they see. They believe anything. Okay, let's get on to a little bit more serious matters if we can. Now, I talked about this yesterday. The Democrats pushing this whole transgenderism, and it's completely disgusting. And up on Capitol Hill, they were having a hearing, and they were asking about this young lady that was fencing, and she was fencing against, or they wanted her to fence against another male. She didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it at all. But they wanted her to fence against a male, and she took a knee. The only time I agree with taking a knee, she took a knee, and they got upset with her. So now they're having a hearing about this, and they brought the guy that's over the fencing, and he's like, I don't have an opinion on this. What do you mean you don't have an opinion? But he was putting his opinion all out on social media, that he was against straight girls, straight women. He's against them. I don't know if he's gay or not, but he might as well be being like this. Now, I have some of this I want to share with you. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's the chairwoman, and they're upset with her because she, along with other Republicans, won't go along with this insanity.
Ms. McNabb, when a biological man spiked a ball into your head, were you free from physical or emotional abuse?
I was not.
Ms. McNabb, did you feel you were placed in a safe environment when you faced a biological male in a girls' volleyball game?
No, I did not feel safe.
Ms. Turner, were you safe when you were forced to go up against a biological male in your sport?
No, I was not.
Mr. Lefelt, do you think your perception of what constitutes a safe environment for women is more valid than that of a woman testifying here today?
Congresswoman, thank you for your question. There was a study that was published in 2010 regarding the safety of sports in the Olympic movement. There were 51 sports that were assessed as part of that study.
That's a yes or no question, Mr. Lefelt. Is that your perception? You're sitting next to a young woman who received a brain injury from a biological male. Is it safe to compete against biological males? Yes or no, Mr. Lefelt?
What happened to Miss?
Yes or no?
What happened to Miss McNabb?
I'll take that as a no. Mr. Lefelt, do you think forcing a woman to change in front of a man in a locker room is abusive? Yes or no?
Congresswoman, I'm not sure I
Do
follow
you
the
want
question.
your daughter to change in front of biological men in locker rooms? Yes or no?
My daughter isn't really something that should be part of this hearing, respectfully.
If you're not a quick no on that, we're going to take that as a no. We're going to switch gears to USA Fencing site selection policy. You're the chair of USA Fencing. You should be familiar. Mr. Leifelt, what does abortion have to do with fencing?
Congresswoman, that policy was passed before I got on the board. However, when
you're the chair of the board now, what does abortion have to do with fencing, Mr. Leifelt?
I'm on the board, you're correct, and I offered an amendment to that policy back in December, Congresswoman, that allowed for more flexibility at the city level.
To get an abortion while you're at fencing competitions?
And it also allowed for better convenience. So we enhanced the policy
more
under my
convenience
leadership
to Planned
on the board.
Parenthood centers. Mr. Leifelt, why does USA Fencing states abortion policies and LGBTQ policies in its site selection process to determine where tournaments are held? That's part of your site selection process, is abortion availability and states and cities that are friendly to LGBTQ policies. How is that part of USA Fencing?
Congresswoman, we try to have tournaments in sites that are safe for all of our members, period.
So you don't think red states are safe for fencing athletes?
Red states are absolutely safe, and we regularly host tournaments there, including Texas, Ohio, Missouri.
No, your site selection policies are based on abortion availability and LGBTQ availability, not on fencing, not on your sport.
Not on the sport. I didn't even realize that they were even pushing abortion while they were fencing towards young women. What does abortion have to do with fencing? And of course, he couldn't answer it other than he just wanted to make it abortion easily available to these young girls. These are evil people.
Yeah,
these are straight up evil people.
That makes no sense. No sense. Why on earth are you wanting to base where you're going to have tournaments off of abortions? Why is that even a conversation, Will?
You know, that's the question. Why is it even a conversation? They should be teaching these young people, men and women in the women's sports, men in the men's sports, about fencing. That's the only thing they should be teaching them. What does abortion have to do with it? Abortion has nothing to do with it, but yet they find a way to push it in there. And of course, they're upset with Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's addressing it. Men should not compete against women. Men are just inherently stronger. It is what it is. Now, I'm not saying women can't do fencing, but how many women are going to win against another man? Men will dominate the sport. I don't care what you think about it or what you say. Women will get dominated because men will dominate the sport. Any sport. Now listen to this one. This one, he's upset because of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is not playing any games with him.
We're here because Chairwoman Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks that if she picks on vulnerable people, like trans folks, she can avoid having a discussion about the allegations of insider trading.
Hold on. So she's picking on vulnerable people? Is that what he said? Vulnerable people because they're living an alternate lifestyle. How is Marjorie Taylor Greene picking on them? I think Marjorie Taylor Greene's her focus is that if you're a man, you should not be competing against girls. Why are these Democrats against women so much? They're constantly saying that they champion women, that they're wanting to fight for women's rights. But when it comes to another man competing against these women, they don't say anything. It's like they're completely against women. And then you have Democrat women that's going along with it. I don't understand it.
Against her. She thinks that she can distract from the fact that Trump and MAGA Republicans are raising your costs every single day, suppressing your wages every single day, stealing your taxpayer dollars every single day, and threatening your health care. That's the reason we're at this crazy hearing today.
That's the reason why they're at the crazy hearing today. You know what they would rather be talking about? Impeachment. That's what they would rather be talking about. how to impeach President Trump, how to remove President Trump from the White House. That's the only thing they want to talk about. They don't care that women are being brutally beat up by men in these various sports. They don't care. What happened to the young girl getting a scholarship to go to a college that she's really been working hard for? What about the young girl that's been spending most of her life training for the Olympics just to have a man come take that gold from her, or the silver, or the bronze, or anything, take any place because of a man?
Yeah, and you know what, Will? That's not why they're there. They're there because this was an election issue.
Yes.
It's an 80-20 issue. In fact, most Americans, 80% of Americans say that they do not believe that trans men should be in women's sports.
No.
Period. This isn't about, this is what's wrong with the Democrat Party. They care about a small group of people infringing on a wide majority of people's rights. They're saying that this one little person, that this person matters, even though they are hurting other people. Same thing with these illegals.
Yeah.
They care more about a Grego Garcia coming back than the violence that he can perpetuate on the American people. Same thing with these Democrats. They could care less what happened to these women that are sitting right in front of them, telling them that I got a brain injury from playing with a trans male in my sport. Do they care about that? They absolutely don't.
And
they're not even recognizing it.
Yeah, and some of these women have life-changing injuries. These injuries that they have received from some of these men, they will always have these injuries. They will always have these scars. Why is it that these people that go up on Capitol Hill that supposedly we voted for, not fighting for us to have rights? Now, y'all can help me out and correct me if I'm wrong here. But when we elect someone to go up on Capitol Hill, we elect them to go up there to make sure that we, the people, retain our rights. That's what their job is for, to pass bills to make sure that we, the people, our rights are not infringed upon. But these Democrats taking rights away from women, and a lot of these women are on board with it. You know why they're on board with it? Because it goes against God. That's the reason why they're on board with it. As long as anything that they want to do goes against God, the Democrats are for it. Here's some more. Listen.
Why did you post on social media for the world to see? You were asked in an anonymous question, which you posted online, are you okay with cis females being at a disadvantage? You said, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was Congressman Cloud that had asked me about that, sir, and I'm happy to address it again. That was a one-word answer to a more nuanced topic, and I feel like if I could take it back and expound a little bit more than what I had there.
Reclaiming my time.
Sure.
Do you think that do you think that parents who don't want their daughters competing against men in women's sports are whiny?
No, sir.
You don't? Why did you write that on social media? I've got a picture here where you posted that. You were allegedly responding to a parent who didn't want their daughter being beaten up by men in sports competitions. You said, I'm not going to pull her from the sport and write a whiny email announcing my departure.
Sir, Mr. Congressman Jack had asked me about that, and want to be crystal clear, that was an inappropriate message.
Do you think that they're cowardly?
Sir, no, I don't. I don't at all. And in fact...
Why did you write that on social media?
I regret it, sir. I deleted it shortly after posting, and I certainly don't feel that way anymore. And given a lot of the messages that we receive, and even conversations I've had...
Do you think that...
I mean, who actually believes him? I mean, who actually believes that he doesn't feel that way anymore? I think the only reason why he's saying that because he's in the seat. He's in the hot seat, and that's his only option to say, try to make it look like he's not with that. And I'm wondering, are the Democrats that hear him saying that he doesn't think that way any longer, are they happy with him saying that? No, they know why he's saying it. They don't believe that he's telling the truth either. They believe he's lying just because he's in that seat right now, and it's okay for him to lie. I don't believe him. Do you believe him?
Parents who don't want their daughters competing against men in sports should be compared to the Ku Klux Klan?
No, absolutely not. And
why did you
do
that?
I said that in the message, sir.
Why did you do that?
Inappropriate.
That was inappropriate?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that you're right. That isn't inappropriate. I'd like to read what you wrote and what you posted on social media.
Sure.
Responding allegedly to a lady who had these concerns. The only wizard that's going to dig you out of the myopic hole you've put yourself and your family in is one of the, quote, grand wizard variety.
Inappropriate, sir, and I acknowledge that I said it, and I will commit to never making a message like that again.
That was in response to a parent, according to you on social media, who had a problem with this. Was this a real email that you were responding to?
It was a real email, sir. I did not respond to it and hit send.
This was a real email. Did an actual parent write this, or did you write this email?
It was written by an actual person claiming to be a parent. They were not a member of our
Were you that actual person?
No, sir.
You were not that actual person, but you staged this whole interaction.
The response, sir, was not real, and I regret that.
Okay.
You know, he regrets it now that he's in the hot seat. He's in the hot seat. Now he regrets it.
That guy regrets a lot of things.
Oh, my goodness.
He
yeah,
was
you know
like,
what? You're absolutely right. He regrets everything.
Yeah. You know what? His first reaction is his real reaction. You can take it down afterwards, but you know he meant it. The only reason why he took it down is because he's the chairman of the fencing sport. So he's like, oh, this is probably inappropriate. I better take it down. But time after time after time, well, they were showing different things that he was saying, responses he was saying to parents, email responses. They were a lot of them were very inappropriate. And you could tell this is the wokeism of today. These people, you'll see throughout this hearing, he's always going to protect the trans. He's not going to say he's against anything trans. And why?
Well, let me be clear about something, too, because, if people want to live a certain lifestyle, I think you should be able to live it. I've constantly said this. I repeated this. I'm not going to go and try to harm someone because someone's living a lifestyle that I disagree with. But you notice the left, they will do that. If they find out that you support President Trump, they will try to harm you. They will work to try to get you fired from your job. Right? It's a complete night and day when it comes between the right and the left.
And he feels bullied.
Yes.
He doesn't feel like he's going to lose his job. You can tell he doesn't feel like
he's like, I don't have no concern. I'm just up here talking because y'all called me up here. Y'all subpoenaed me. I'm going to come up here and talk a little bit. And he's not even concerned about losing a job. He's not going to step down because he's still going to target these young women by using other men. And if the women do not compete against these men, they're going to lose their scholarship. They're going to lose their opportunities to advance. They're going to lose everything. Yep. Him being a man, he's not losing nothing. Nothing. And then they're helping out other men pretending to be something that they're not. They don't lose anything. So what happened to the guy that she didn't compete against? What they found out another female because they're not in the news. So he wouldn't compete against another female and another female compete against. I wonder, where is he ranking at right now? Is he like in the top tier? Is he beating out all of the women? I'm pretty sure there's some women. Now fencing, men and women do fencing, and there's some really good women out there that can do fencing. I can't beat them. I've never done fencing, right? I can't beat them. But men that is in the sport, they will. I'm telling you, there's not a single woman that will beat these men in that sport. Plain and simple. You know what it makes me think about? What's her name? Serena Williams. Serena Williams made a statement about this whole thing. And she said that she could play against the worst male player in tennis, in professional tennis, mind you. Because, if I play against her, she's going to beat me. But she could play against the worst professional player that's a man in tennis. And he will beat her every time. She said this because it's clear. He's a man. He's the worst in his league, but he can beat every single woman. And Serena Williams was saying this, and she's the best in the women's league. You can't make it up. I have some more for you. Listen.
Yes, there is a women's event.
Thank you. We're getting somewhere. Now, that is because I think you would agree that in general, maybe not because Ms. Graves doesn't, that men inherently have some physical attributes that give them an advantage. Would you agree with that?
I would agree to an extent, sir.
Okay,
There's
so let's
some
go
studies
let's
within,
talk about, no,
within
I got to
fencing
reclaim my time. Madam Chair, I'm going to reclaim my time because, for instance, there is increased muscle mass, generally speaking, with men, which makes them faster and stronger. They're better adapted with cardiorespiratory capacity, lungs, helps with endurance. Men are generally taller, have stronger bones, and they have different skeletal structures. You got to know this. The pelvis in men are more narrow, and the small Q angle that attaches the hip to the knee joint, that's important because the more narrow that Q angle is, the more force than you can project. Now, that's only important in sports that require standing, squatting, kicking, or pedaling. And then you also have a sex difference in the angle of the humerus and the ulna at the elbow. And the more narrow and the smaller that angle is, that projects more force upon extension in only sports that involve throwing, thrusting like in fencing, hitting a bat, racket, or stick. So, like, for instance, what my colleague said, Will Thomas was 462nd best male swimmer for 3 years. And then he was winning events when he competed with women. Female gold medal.
That's exactly what I was just talking about. That's exactly what I was just talking about. Men are just stronger vessels on this planet. That's the way God created it. That's the way God made us. Men are just stronger. That's why every time when you hear there's a, like, for example, if you're on a boat, they always say women and children first. Women and children first. And that means as a man, you help the women and children first. You help them. And then you help yourself because you're stronger. You can help them where they can't help themselves. I don't even know why in the year 2025 this is even a subject. I don't even know why we're even having this conversation. This shouldn't even be anything that they should have to be debating. Whether or not a man is competing against a woman. And where have we gone? I mean, are we going backwards? Now, it makes me think about, remember Kamala Harris? She kept saying one of her campaign slogans, "We're not going back." It looks like they're going back, but they're going back beyond and before caveman, because apparently caveman knew what a woman was. Now, and the cavemen, they weren't trying to act like women. I guarantee it. But for some reason in the year 2025, and I truly believe I know what that reason is. The reason for this to happen right now is because of the times that we're living in. Because we're living in biblical times right now. I constantly bring it up every single time. And most people are starting to see it as well. And of course, you get a lot of people going to say, Will Johnson, we've heard it so many times. People say that for many years. But it's never happened at the level that we're seeing it happen right now. We've never seen it like this. And it's intensifying. It's growing. We're talking about people have lost their everlasting minds. They've lost their minds. The fact that I'm on here and I have to tell you that, a man competing against a woman, and the only reason why you have these Democrats fighting for this stuff is because it goes against God. That's the reason why they're doing it. Why else are they doing it? Can we put the chat up on the screen? Why do y'all think they're doing it? Why do you think they're doing it? The reason why, I'm telling you, the reason why they're doing this right now is because it goes against God, because they know God made male and female. It's not something I made up. It's what God did. God made male and female, and the Democrats, they're against everything that God has created. It's almost like we're watching a movie. Everything's unfolding. They got a new pope, right? Got a new pope in there. And then not only got a new pope in there, we have these wars and these rumors of wars. Kind of sound familiar to you? I mean, it's like a whole bunch of things constantly bowling up. I mean, what's the word about India and Pakistan? Things are happening really fast. And this evilness that's in this world, they see what President Trump is doing. And he's doing positive things, and they want to try to stop it.
Yeah, and you know what? Well, right now, they're talking about fencing, but really they're talking about all sports, right? Really? And this is a problem across every single sport, not just fencing. It's happening in, basketball, swimming, volleyball. I mean, it's happening. I cannot imagine being a female today trying to compete for scholarships. This is a lot of ways that some people try to get into college. I remember, my boys playing basketball. It was all about, can you get to college on a scholarship playing a sport? But this puts women at a disadvantage. It's disgusting. Not only a disadvantage, but you could get a lifelong injury because of a man.
Yeah.
And not only that, but think about the mental, weight of this. When you have someone in your locker room that is the same as you, I can't even imagine it. I'm one of those women. I don't even like other women in my locker rooms. Let alone a man.
Look, I go to the gym. And I'm in the gym, right? And, I go and I work out and I get all sweaty. And I saw someone in the comments said they noticed that I've been losing some weight. I've been really, really trying to work hard on it. And I'm really trying to lose weight because I want to have my body, my mind, my spirit together, right? I'm working on it. I'm not there just yet, but I am working on it. And when I get down that, I'm out on the gym floor and I'm sweating and stuff like that. And then I go in to take a shower, and I just don't get butt naked in the shower. Can I say that? I don't. I get my towel and stuff, and then I go in the shower, and I take my shower, and I come out, and I have my towel and everything wrapped around. Yeah, look, I don't expose myself. But there's some men that come up in the gym, Shannon, and they just walk around like free. It reminds me of my little boys. I had 2 little boys, and they're grown men now. But when they were little boys, they would drop their diapers and run around the house butt naked. And it reminds me that, I guess men don't change. Not that I'm going to do it, but there's a lot of them that will do that. It's exactly what it is. I don't want to see them in the men's locker room walking around like that. And they most definitely shouldn't be in the women's room walking around like that. I mean, it's a no-brainer here, but they still do it. They still do it. And I guess it is acceptable to an extent in the male's locker room, right? Not that I care to see it, but it is acceptable because they're in the men's locker room, right? I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure you're in agreement. But it's not acceptable for a man to go into the women's restroom and just do the same thing. It's not. It's really not. It's really not.
I'm asking you, why have you not protected young girls like these 2 sitting right next to you?
Sir, I believe we have protected young women in fencing. It's one.
Okay, really. Hold on a second. Let's ask the expert witnesses. Miss Turner, have men like Mr. Layfield protected you?
No.
Are they protecting other young girls from biological men participating in sports?
No, he glorifies it.
Miss McNabb, are men like Mr. Layfield protecting you and other young women participating in women's sports?
Absolutely not.
Do you feel safe?
No.
You shouldn't, because guess what? God created men and women differently, and I know that this town and many in this culture have a real problem with that, but it is a fact, okay? It's just a fact, and you guys know it. You have permanent injuries for the rest of your life. Is that correct, Ms. Knapp?
That's correct, Congressman.
Evil triumphs when good men and women do nothing. Not only have you done nothing to protect these young women, but you've actually sided with policies that are destructive to young women's sports. You said you have a daughter, Mr. Layfield?
I do, sir.
That's sad, man. That's sad that you wouldn't protect young girls from what's going on in this culture. And it's disgusting to listen to these posts that you yourself posted. I can't believe that you're still the chairman of this organization.
100%. He's still the chairman. The things that he said about these young ladies, and he's still the chairman. He's against straight women, saying that straight women, they should be brutally beat down by these men. He straight up said it, and they're calling him out on it. And then he goes, well, I guess I shouldn't have said that. You think? You know what makes me think about? If I ever decide one day to run for political office, not that I will, but if I ever decide to run for political office, I'm telling you right now that these radical Democrats, because I would run as a hardcore Republican. I mean, a MAGA extremist Republican. If I ran, that's probably why I don't run. right? Because I'm so MAGA extreme. I'm willing to bet that I'm more extreme than you, right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, right? But I'm so extreme, and I know that if I ever ran and I had to go, or not even just running, if I got appointed to some kind of position, and I had to go before them, and they want to ask me questions, my character and the person that I am, they're going to go through my social media and they're going to find where I didn't agree with all of this perverted stuff that they're putting out there. They're going to show all this stuff that they're going to say, well, Will Johnson, you said this about black people. Yeah, what part is not true? Right? But they don't want you to tell the truth. They want you to go with their insanity. And I know if it ever got to that point, they would bring up stuff that everybody on this planet should be against. But what's happening in our society, in our world, is that they're embracing this evil wickedness. And this evil wickedness is what they want to become reality. And this evil wickedness is what they want everyone to just follow and say is normal. We'll be right back.
Oh, hey, folks. How you doing? Jeremy Harrell here, LFA TV. I was just reading up here on Fatty 15. Sounds kind of funny, right? It's not, though. Fatty 15 is a new supplement that we are taking here at LFA TV that I'm personally taking myself that has a nutrient in it called C15. And what is C15? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we can thank our aquatic friends, the dolphins, for science figuring this out. The first breakthrough in 90 years about what the proper amount of C15 in your body can do. Every one of us wants peace. Every one of us wants to experience joy and a long life with our kids and our grandkids sitting in a setting like you see behind me. Well, there's one way that you can do that outside of eating right, having a good diet, exercising, saying your prayers, eating your vitamins, but also taking supplements that our bodies just don't produce anymore because we're all breaking down, especially as we get older. Fatty 15 has a nutrient called C15. And what this does is it, first of all, repairs your old damaged cells and then kind of slows down the aging process of your cells, giving you longevity of life. And 72% of people taking Fatty 15 see massive benefits within 16 weeks. Some earlier, some later. But those benefits are absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Most people said their liver and heart health feels much better. A lot of people said that their skin is changing. They feel like they're healthier. Their metabolic system changes. And ladies and gentlemen, it's also vegan friendly. Now, Fatty 15 has 3 times the cellular benefits as any omega-3 or fish oil. Omega-3 and fish oil also can go bad after a while. By replenishing our cells with this C15 nutrient that I'm talking about in here, Fatty 15 effectively repairs cells and restores our long-term health. Now, I can get you a 15% off a 90-day subscription right now by going to fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. That's fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. And ladies and gentlemen, despite the name, it's not going to make you a fatty. It's actually going to give you something that you've been wanting for a long time, to feel younger again. Who doesn't want that? Fatty15.com/LFA, code LFA. Check it out now. Thank you guys so very much. Have a wonderful day.
It's not going to make you a fatty. It's not going to make you a fatty. All right. And we're back. So go check it out. Fatty 15, everyone. Check it out. And, I love Jeremy's expression on that right there at the end. And he said, it's not going to make you a fatty. I really do. I like his expression on it. Okay, let me share something else with you. And I'm kind of hammering this today. Now, President Trump, he said that the federal buildings will only fly one flag. The federal buildings will only fly one flag. They're not going to fly other flags other than the United States flag. And I think the only other flag that the federal buildings might be able to fly would be like the state flag, maybe. But I know for a fact that any flag that is not designated by the federal government would not be flown at federal buildings. So what do they do here? Are you looking at this? So what do they do here? You have a bunch of woke liberals in Salt Lake City deciding to put these flags right here at their city hall. And they did this because they want to fight against President Trump. There should only be one flag. These flags are divisive. These flags do not represent America. These flags reject everybody else. The American flag represents every single person in this country. And these Democrats, they know this. Listen to this. I couldn't believe it when I saw this.
I want each and every resident to look up at any flag that flies at City Hall and be reminded that their community values belonging and acceptance, and that their community values every one of them. Let the Sago Lily send a simple but powerful message. Salt Lake City is here for you. We believe in you, and we love you.
Oh my goodness. So my question is, where's the American flag? Where was the American flag in that? Yeah. Do y'all see an American flag in there? I mean, I don't even see a small one on a desk. Nowhere. Do y'all see? I have one right here. Y'all see that? I got American flag behind me and it's lit up. But they don't have a single one. See, this is another example of them rejecting the United States of America. And they're doing it because it goes against what the rest of the country wants. Goes against. Now, I have a beauty for you. This is how bad it is. The Democrats always act like children. And when I saw this clip, they were saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's the one acting childish. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's the one with the gavel. She's the chairwoman. When someone's time is up, it is her job to say your time is up and call the next person. That's part of the job. Well, of course, the radical liberal, she doesn't want to stop talking. But in this scene, they're saying that the liberals are saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene is the one that's acting childish. Watch.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
I also want to acknowledge
the gentlelady's time has expired. I now recognize Ms. McClain from Michigan.
Point of order.
You took a minute of my time, wasting my time on a non-point of order. The gentlelady's time has expired. I now recognize
not running during the
Ms.
point
McClain
of order.
from Michigan.
Your time was not wasted. And to the trans community, we stand with you, with the LGBTQ plus community. We stand with you, and you can break my eardrums all you want, Madam Chair, but we stand with the LGBTQ plus community, and you can gavel me till
order. This hearing will come to order. This hearing will come to order.
Madam Chair,
this hearing will come to order.
Madam Chair,
this hearing will come to order. I now recognize
Ms.
McClain from
I just
Michigan.
have a point of order.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Let me tell you.
This is happening with adults upon Capitol Hill. This is adults. These are supposed to be adults. I mean, I'm sitting there looking at them like, nah, this ain't real, right? When I first saw it, I'm like, okay, what?
I love her face right here. She's like,
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, and they have the, so Shannon, let me ask you the question and put the comments on the screen too. You know, we need to put the comments on the screen with this one here. This is a nice shot, actually. I like this shot. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Oh, she took it away already. But so in the comments, who was acting childish there? Was it Marjorie Taylor Greene acting childish, or was it the radical liberal? It's not even a trick question. Y'all just watched it. Who's acting childish? Who's acting childish? She had her turn to speak. She didn't want to stop talking. She just wanted to be obstructive, right? The whole purpose of the Democrat Party is not to do the will of the people. They are there to make sure that the United States of America does not advance. Y'all see my shirt? Y'all see my shirt? Where do y'all think I got this shirt from? We're on the chat here. Where do you think I got this shirt from? Anybody? Anybody in the chat? Anybody watching right now? Can y'all tell me where I got this shirt from? Anybody? I'm just kind of curious. Does anybody know? Does anybody know where I got the shirt from? Here's a hint. Can y'all see that? You need to zoom in, Shannon. She can't zoom in. I got it from lfatv.us. I got it from lfatv.us. Beautiful shirt, right? Beautiful shirt. Get yours. Get yours. Okay. Now I gotta go. I gotta go to another crazy one here. And it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Here's a hood rat, Jasmine Crackpot. This despicable person, she lies and she lies and she lies. And apparently she gets some dude, I think it's a dude, to lie with her. Listen.
So, Miss Goss-Graves, I want to play a game. It's called Trump or Trans. You ready? Okay. So
maybe we should have called it that. Trump or Trans. Right? Maybe we should have called it that. I mean, this woman here she's a piece of work. She's a piece of work. It's no wonder people don't have any respect for her.
I asked you a question, and I want you to tell me whether or not it is Trump or trans people that are responsible. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. The first one, gutted medical research.
Trump.
Kidnapping Americans and sending them to foreign countries, a.k.a. deporting them.
Trump.
Where? When has that happened? If President Trump grabbed Americans off the street of America and deported them, I would be screaming. This is not right. No matter how much we dislike these stupid liberals that are Americans, you can't grab them off the street and just deport them. I like the idea, but you can't do it.
But what does this have to do with what they're talking about?
There's nothing to do
Has
with it.
nothing to do with
Nothing.
it. And see, she can't defend it, Will. She can't
Nothing.
defend it. So she's like, well, I'm just going to throw this in there, this little question about illegals being deported. If you can't sit there and defend trans and women's sports, let's deflect with some nonsense
Exactly.
that we think Trump is doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Driving us into a recession.
Trump.
Increasing the cost of everything.
Trump.
Waging an idiotic tariff war.
Trump.
Harming farmers.
Trump.
Ignoring the Constitution.
Trump.
Proposing to take away Social Security.
Trump.
Cutting health care.
Trump.
Firing government workers who keep our country safe.
Trump.
Encouraging an environment of hate and divisiveness.
Trump.
Thank you so much. This committee could be engaged in actual oversight of fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement.
Oh, hold on. Did she just? She didn't just say that, did she? Did she just say that? So when they're actually looking at fraud, waste, they reject that. This is the reason why they say this woman is dumber than a bag of rocks. And I'm sorry to insult the bag of rocks. Actually, you're not insulting the bag of rocks. The bag of rocks is smarter than her because she's dumber than a bag of rocks. So it's not insulting the bag of rocks. She just sit there and said that. How did it get these people there? I mean, I think I could do a better job. I really do. I think I could do a better job. But see, again, they wouldn't like to see me up on Capitol Hill. They wouldn't like to see me up on Capitol Hill. I guarantee that if I ever run for political office, you will have Republicans and Democrats come out the woodwork, say Will Johnson's not qualified. You know why? Because I would be at Mike Johnson's door every single day and say, look, President Trump just did a bill, or President Trump just did an executive order. Let's do the bill on that one executive order. I'll be at his door every day. Mike Johnson would probably get irritated with me. These Republicans will get irritated with me. Let's just do the one bill with the executive order. So they would not like to see me coming because I know go up on Capitol Hill to go, but Will Johnson, that's not how it works. We need to negotiate with the Democrats. Put the one bill in there and talk about it. Negotiate the one bill. Don't add anything. That's why they can't ever get anything done.
So let's talk about waste. Like Trump's plan to spend almost $100 million for his little birthday parade.
Oh, is it his little birthday parade? Get this woman out of Congress. This is for the United States of America. It is to show our appreciation for the military. Get this woman out. Talking about his little birthday parade. We're talking about the United States of America. If you do not like the United States of America, it is time for you to go. Why are you even in Congress if you do not love and appreciate these United States of America? Why? Talking about his little birthday party. See, stuff like that ticks me off.
Like Trump's plan to spend almost $100 million for his little birthday parade. Or how he spent 25% of his first 100 days golfing, costing taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. In fact, it's a little bit over 30 million at our last estimation. In fact, President Trump is on pace to spend more than $1 billion of taxpayer dollars just on golfing. Yet the Republicans have been silent. So they must think spending taxpayer dollars on the president's golfing trips is more important than providing health care to their constituents. And when I talk about constituents, we're going to talk about the ones on this committee.
How many of y'all actually believe Jasmine Crackpot? How many of y'all actually believe anything she just said?
I mean,
this is a despicable person.
Let's talk about all the money we spent on Joe Biden spending 40% of his time on vacation.
Oh my goodness, 40%.
On vacation, not even running the country.
And actually, when he did show up to work, 60% of the time he was sleeping.
They had trans events at the White House. You had, look at all the money we spent on illegals, flying them over the border into America, feeding them, housing them. That's wasteful money. But no, let's talk about Trump.
Yeah. Trump is the problem. Got to talk about Trump. Trump. Trump is always the problem. These people are evil. Okay. I could talk about that constantly. I'm going to let it go because I actually have some more stuff, but I got to move on from that. It is like irking me. I know it's irking y'all too, right? I'm going to move on from it. I want to talk something else. This is about the Democrat Party here as well, but this one is about John Fetterman. The Democrat Party, like Shannon just said, they don't have anything to stand on. The Democrat Party's imploding. They're at civil war with one another. You have the radical demonic left, and then you have just the demonic left, right? Because the Democrat Party, they're all demonic. And the radical demonic left wants the other demonic left to just go completely berserk and just do wild things. Children and everything. But the demonic left is saying, nope, we got to keep it down low. We can't allow people to know. That's what they're saying. But you have AOC, Jasmine Crackpot, Ilhan Omar, Elizabeth Warren, all of these radical liberals. Elizabeth Warren, she's more just the demonic side, to be honest with you. Both of them are demonic, but she's not the radical demonic to an extent. But listen to what they're saying here about John Fetterman. John Fetterman is really ticking off a lot of Democrats. He's upsetting them. Listen.
Fetterman has been reaching across the aisle too much for them. The senator crushes Hamas and campus protests, which, as we all know, is a pet project of the radical left. He met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, right? That's a huge sin, right? After Trump won the election. And he worked with Republicans on passing the Laken-Riley Act and voted for 10 of Trump's cabinet picks. And now the senator is saying that Trump has keyed in correctly on the most important concern in our country, helping the majority do better when it comes to workers and economic benefits. The Democrats have had it since all of these things, hence the hit piece. Now, Democrats, this is why you lost. You can't cancel everyone who doesn't hate the right and play by your stilted rules of purity. But the bigger mistake here is that they're targeting a Democrat who has it right. Fetterman is trying to work on the issue that is the key to winning the midterms and to the long-term success of our country, addressing the yawning gap between the many who struggle and the outrageously wealthy few.
So the Democrat Party, they're imploding. Fetterman, it seems like he's the only one with common sense, which is kind of mind-blowing, and it's weird that I'm even saying that.
Yeah, and
Fetterman, of all people, he's the one with common sense when it comes to the Democrat Party.
They're upset with him because he's working on common sense legislation.
Yes.
Even though he may not agree with President Trump on everything, he's like, listen, I'm here to do a job for the American people. My job is not to retaliate against the President of the United States every time he turns around. People are tired of this. People are so tired of this.
That is just it. The radical Democrats, they believe the only purpose right now is to stop Trump and whatever it is that he's doing. President Trump can solve world hunger. Oh, President Trump is solving world hunger. Gotta shut him down. We gotta stop him. We gotta stop him. You know how many people would respect Trump and love Trump if he came out and solved world hunger? He'd be unstoppable. So what did the Democrats do? They have to stop Trump, so he would not be able to solve world hunger. That's exactly the same thing. That's exactly what it is. And then you have people like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, you remember he went on this, what do they call it? The oligarchy tour, right? Where he's against the oligarchs when he's an oligarch himself. And then the oligarchs were paying for his flights going everywhere. And then here, Brett, what's his name? Brett Baer. I almost said Brett Humes. Brett Baer asking Bernie Sanders about him making all of these trips. Because you remember, Bernie Sanders was the first one to scream, we got to go green. We got to go green. Him and AOC, and both of them, bunch of hypocrites, flying around the country on private jets.
You know, Alyssa Slotkin, senator from Michigan, she said you shouldn't be using oligarch. It's over people's head. You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No. It doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around.
Oh, I'm above everybody. I can't do that. I got to go around, and that's the only way to get around. Listen to this. And, of course, he got to bring Trump into this.
No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
And you think that this is hitting a mark? You think it's scratching the itch that voters want to hear from?
I think at a time when the people on top are doing phenomenally well, when seniors, working class people are struggling, people want to hear action to stand up to the people who have the wealth and the power and create an economy that works for all of us, not just the people on top.
Well, Senator Sanders,
I mean, really? Not just the people on top. Is Bernie Sanders not one of those people that's on top? Is he not one of those people? I say that he is. Bernie Sanders is filthy rich. And remember AOC, when she went into Congress, she was a bartender. Remember that? She was a bartender, was not rich, and now she's worth how many millions on her salary? How's that possible? She's doing insider trading just like Nancy Pelosi, because Nancy Pelosi had to go to the principal's office, AOC, and shut up about the insider trading, because you notice after that, AOC said nothing about it. She had nothing to say. Hey, let me tell y'all about tryarmor.com. Tryarmor.com. If you go to tryarmor.com/LFATV, you too can start losing weight like me. You too can get hair growth. Look, tryarmor.com/LFATV. This is such a wonderful product. It helps with your gut health, with your metabolism, and as I mentioned, your hair growth. There's so many benefits of going to tryarmor.com/LFATV, of course. There's so many. I can't even go through the whole laundry list. And I've constantly told people, go to tryarmor.com/LFATV and pick yours up today. And if this is your first time purchasing it and you want to try it out, get 15% off by using promo code LFA at tryarmor.com/LFATV. Use promo code LFATV and to get 15% off. Get 15% off. Also, again, with this beautiful shirt, made America great again. That's what happened this past November. You get to take the credit for it. You do, because you made America great again. It's not making America great again. It's made America great again because of you, the LFA family, because of you, the American people. So go to lfatv.us and get yours today. And again, once you pick yours up, take that beautiful picture of you in it and then put it on X and connect with me on X, because I want to see it. People have done it multiple times. And sometimes, because, if you put it on X, you put it on there, it's okay to be public. Then I'll share it here online with everyone during the show, because I love to see it. So go to lfatv.us and get yours today. You will really like it. I like it a lot. All right. And also, we have Hannah coming up next. Every time I say that, it goes away. We have Hannah coming up next. Hannah's coming up next right here on LFA TV. Make sure you stick around for that. And tomorrow, everybody, tomorrow is open phone line day. I'm going to open up the phone call. And you can call me. We can talk about whatever it is that we talked about throughout the entire week. We can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about throughout the entire week. Or, you can just call me and, tell me what you think about whatever it is. We can even talk about these UFOs that are still flying around. We can even talk about that. One last thing, if we can. I think you have to do it on a split screen for me over there, Shannon. This one, I want to talk about this really quick. I think we have just over a minute. So we have just over a minute. And this happened just yesterday in New York, where these radical liberals got arrested for going in at Columbia University at the library, trying to take it over. They got arrested. It's about time. Y'all see that? All right, everybody. That is it. We got 10 seconds. Stay tuned right here on LFA TV for Hannah. She's going to have a fire show. We're live all day right here on LFA. See you tomorrow.